Media is at FTE Istanbul, and I've just caught up with Rohit Talwar from Fast Future. You've just done one of the big keynote sessions for the morning, and you're talking a little bit about a think tank that you have done together with the people at FTE. Can you tell me a bit about that project?
Yeah, so we recently completed a major study for Heathrow on what are the driving forces and trends and ideas that could shape the next 25 years. And on the back of that, we started a conversation with FTE to say, well, it would be really interesting to explore what the rest of the aviation industry thinks about that longer term horizon. So we created this project called Air Transport 2035 that's really about taking leaders in the industry beyond their current time horizon for their planning to think about what could really shape the operating environment and what could that mean for what we do as airports, as airlines, the experience we create for passengers, and the business models that underpin the way we'll do business.
Okay, so how did you go about collecting this data? What sort of professionals from the industry were you able to get involved?
So we've just, the survey is still running. It's the first part of the research. So far we've had over 350 responses, over half of which are coming from people within the industry, mainly at senior executive level, from 48 countries on every continent around the planet. And we designed a survey, 17 questions, exploring these different issues, giving them a range of multiple choice options on these things, but also asking for their own views. And the next phase we're going to roll into now is individual interviews, workshops inside organizations, and multi-organization workshops to really start to deep dive on the emerging future and how do we better prepare for it. Because what we can see is across the industry, with so many people losing money and so many people struggling to really understand the future, a lot of bad choices being made, a lot of rushing into technology, an inability to prioritize, and a massive underinvestment in talent, leadership skills, and thinking skills. So we're hoping that by giving people a much broader understanding of what could shape the future, that'll drive real change in all those agendas.
You mentioned rushing into technology, and I think this is something that's come up quite a bit in our industry about being led down the garden path, or perhaps leading yourself down the garden path, throwing some money at developing certain technologies that may not actually have a long-term benefit for the organization. Based on the findings so far from the survey, would you say that there's one or two of these sort of technologies that stands out that you think maybe we're focusing a little too much energy on, or some that we should be focusing on more?
There's a really clear understanding that data is the core of all our organizations going forward. But what's also clear is there's a lack of understanding about what having data means. So, for example, one of the most powerful things I can do with my data today is dynamically change my retail layout. So when I have the customers, like Vancouver already does this, I have the customers who are flying to China and Korea, I might have my $32,000 bottles of whiskey on display. But as soon as those flights go, I might change it to $40 bottles of whiskey that are more popular with the people flying domestically or to routes in the US. So really understanding the power of our data and what it tells us is important. Artificial intelligence is very clearly seen as a powerful tool for giving us value from that data, but as yet its true applications and implications aren't fully understood. And again, that's an issue of digital literacy. So a lot of technologies are seen as being potentially very important, but right now I don't think there's enough understanding about how they can change the way we do business. What you can do is you can take part in the survey using the link at the bottom of the screen here, share that with your colleagues. It takes about 15 minutes to take the survey. You can also, if you want to, do a more in-depth interview with us. And some organizations are actually wanting to create internal workshops to discuss these ideas and really have a deeper exploration. Others are wanting to host workshops for multiple organizations to get together. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get involved to explore these ideas, to discuss them, to take away value for yourselves, but also provide input to the study. And then the report will be published at the FTE conference in Las Vegas in September.
Sounds fantastic.